Hey guys, welcome back to the Own Your Identity podcast. Today, we're diving into a topic that has the power to transform how you experience life, your emotional home. Your emotional home is the set of emotions that you return to most often. It could be states such as shame, fear, and striving, or courage, connection, and purpose. And the thing is, the actions we take, the habits we form, and even the ways we relate to other men are often reflections of the emotional home we're most comfortable in. But what if that home is not serving you anymore? What if it's time to move into a new one? And that's what we're unpacking today. My name is Jason Mellard. I'm a certified high-performance coach and the founder of Own Your Identity. I'm committed to empowering men to live beyond their unwanted same-sex attractions and into their purpose through the power of Christ and for the glory of God. Let's start with this. When you act out sexually with another guy, use porn, or entertain comparisons, what emotional home are you coming from? Is it loneliness, shame, a need for validation? For many of us, those moments aren't just about the act itself. They're about seeking comfort in an emotional home we've lived in for years. Maybe it's the home of I'm not enough, or I'll never belong. On the other hand, think about a time when you confidently walked into a room full of guys that you would normally feel intimidated by. That's a different home. Maybe it's courage or self-acceptance. Proverbs 4:23 says, "Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it." If your emotional home is built on shame or fear, it's going to shape everything you do. But if it's built on God's truth and love, imagine how that could change your life. Here's an example from my life. In college, I obsessively worked out, and I would go into the gym, look in the mirror, and look at the guys that were bigger and stronger than me, and that was my focus. I was coming from a place of striving and lack. I knew that I was not enough, and maybe if I try harder, I will be someday. I was closed off, and I didn't see the people and the interactions I could have that would actually bring me life. Now, when I go into the gym, I have an open posture. I start from the fact that I am enough as a man, and I desire to grow from there. I'm inspired by the men that are stronger than me. I'm inspired by the guy that can bench 50 pounds and see that when he shows up consistently, he's practicing faith. My emotional home is open, inspired, and joyful. When I work out now, I get ideas for episodes to record and content to create, problems to solve, and it energizes my day rather than constrain it to just myself and my own striving. Can you relate to that? Are there actions you're taking, whether it's comparing yourself, striving, obsessing over your attractions, acting out sexually with guys, or viewing porn, that are ways of staying in a familiar emotional home or belief system? If so, it's time to ask yourself, is this home serving the man I want to become? Romans 12:2 gives us a roadmap here. Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. That's what this is about, renewing your mind, breaking free from old patterns and stepping into the transformation that God has for you. Recently, I had to step into a new emotional home. A couple of years ago, when I decided to start creating content and coaching men who were feeling stuck by the story they were telling themselves about their attractions or the sin that they've committed, I decided that I was willing to do something that I hadn't done, to have a voice that was strong in the world and that took courage. It took risk to do what I'm doing right now. My emotional home, most of my life, has been safety, to protect what I have at all costs, and that caused me to stand against the wall and watch other people step up when there was an opportunity to take the lead. But I was sick of Satan using same-sex attraction to hold people back. And so I unlocked courage and adventure as places in my life that I wanted to step into and be more comfortable with. I consciously chose to trade those values of safety and security for courage and adventure, understanding that it was going to be uncomfortable, that I was stepping out of an emotional home I was familiar with and stepping into a new one. But I had to invite myself into it. I had to say to younger Jason, come on, you can do this. It's worth it. We're going to help these guys, and we're going to see them flourish in a way that God has designed for them all their lives. So let's go. It was important to me. I had a strong why. 2 Timothy 1:7 reminds us, "For the Spirit God gave us does not make us timid, but gives us power, love, and self-discipline." That's the foundation of your new home. It was for me. And it's already in you because God put it there. So how do you build a new emotional home? First, you need a vision. What emotions do you want to live in daily? Maybe it's peace, confidence, or joy. You have to be intentional about it. Then you need to identify the actions that align with that home. For me, courage looked like hitting publish on my first blog post. Adventure looked like saying yes to coaching, even when I felt scared. What does it look like for you? And finally, you need to maintain your new home, and that means checking in with yourself each day. At the end of each day, ask, did I live in my new emotional home today? If not, what pulled me back? And what can I do differently tomorrow? Remember, this isn't about perfection. It's about progress. It's about showing up every day and laying one brick at a time. For me, I could look back on my day and observe that I wanted to worry about something. There were times in my life where I had something in my head that I was worrying about, and then I forgot what it was, and I kind of panicked for a second. And I thought, oh, what was that thing I was worrying about? And it came to mind again from an emotional home of worry, from fear. And I was comfortable with that. Letting things go and just moving forward in faith, that was a challenge for me. And I can observe that at the end of the day and take an inventory on how many times I showed up with worry, fear, and striving. All right, so let's do something powerful together. If you can, close your eyes. Take a deep breath and let it out. I want you to imagine your current emotional home. What does it look like? Is it dark and cramped? Or messy and chaotic? What do you sense when you walk through there? Are there walls that feel like they're closing in? Or are there large windows where you can see out clearly? Now, I want you to picture your younger self standing in that home. Maybe he's a boy or a teenager or just a younger version of you. Look at him. What is he feeling? What is he thinking? I want you to invite him to walk to the front door of this home that perhaps is no longer serving you. Open it. Outside, in the distance, there is another home. It's bright, inviting, and full of light. This is the home of courage, connection, and purpose. Talk to him about it. Describe it to him. Tell him what it's made of. Tell him what's inside of it. Maybe there's freedom, peace, and adventure. Maybe there's a sense of belonging that he's never felt before. And just ask him, what do you think? What would it be like to live there? Don't push him. Don't rush him. Just wait. Let him take it in. Let your younger self decide when he is ready to step forward. And when he is, take his hand and walk with him toward that new home. Feel the courage it takes to leave the old behind. Feel the excitement of stepping into something new. And finally, when you're ready, take that step yourself in your mind. Now, open your eyes. I want you to hold on to what that feeling was like, to invite yourself into something better, to look into the distance and see a place that is going to serve you in a way that leads to flourishing and things happening in your life that right now just seem like a dream. John 10:10 says, "I have come that they may have life and have it to the full." And that's the home that he's inviting you into, a life that is full, abundant, and free. And it's from that place that we will have more to give others, his love, his gospel, and his identity. Okay, let's get practical. Building a new emotional home isn't just about having a vision. It's about taking consistent, intentional steps even when life gets crazy. Here are some tools to help you stay on track. Set daily emotional triggers. Choose a simple action that reminds you to step into your new home. For example, every time you see your reflection, say to yourself, I'm stepping into courage today. When you walk through a doorway, say, I belong here. I like that one. I have a phone alarm that's labeled vibrancy, courage, and giving. It goes off each morning at 10 o'clock. You could create something like that yourself. Anchor yourself in Scripture. Memorize verses that remind you of your new home. For example, Philippians 4:13 says, I can do all this through him who gives me strength. Create a morning practice. Start your day with clarity. Take 5 minutes to pray, journal, or meditate on the emotions that you want to embody that day. I have a list of 10 power emotions, that I call them, that I review each morning, and I pick 2 from it as intentions for my day. They include gratitude, passion, confidence, flexibility, cheerfulness, love and warmth, curiosity, vitality, and a sense of contribution. Consider writing those down and picking a couple to set as an intention each morning. Celebrate small wins. At the end of each day, reflect on one thing you did that aligned with the intention that you set. Have a reset ritual. When you feel pulled back into old patterns, pause, pray, take a deep breath, and remind yourself, I'm building something new, and I'm proud of that. I choose to step into it right now. So here is my challenge for you. Take some time today to reflect on your emotional home currently. What emotions have you been living from? What actions have been reinforcing that home? And most importantly, where do you want to go? What is the new home that you want to build? You don't have to do this alone. Surround yourself with people who will support you, challenge you, and remind you of the man you're becoming. I believe in you. And finally, I want you to know that you are not defined by the walls of your old emotional home, the shame, fear, or striving that you've lived in. You are defined by the one who calls you his. You've got this, and God's got you. I'll talk with you soon.